if you're listening to this, I have two camps, right? We have business owners and we have people who want to start a business. And so I want to share some cool metrics, at least they get me very excited about this and for the future, that if you want to start a business, even if you have a business, that you'll find interesting and that could probably make you money, all right? Because now I'm a co-owner of the platform, I have access to a lot of information that other people don't have. And so we ran something that we wanted to call the Skool games. And so this was something that Sam and I came up with together. We were like, how do we make this fun? Like, how do we make this cool? And so we're like it has to be something more than just try this out, right? And so we're like, well, what if we gave away what everyone else charges for? Which is usually my go-to, how do I look at what everyone else charges for, make it better, make it free? Like that's been I'll write that process out. Look what everyone else is charging for, make it better, make it free. All right, if you want to get customers, that's the playbook. Now, so with the Skool games, what we did was I said, okay, what does everyone else give away? Oops, Skool games. Well, most people have coaching calls, whatever you want to call it. So people charge for that. They have courses, right? They have courses they put inside, all right, and they charge for that. They have a community. These are all C's, that's kind of nice. They have a community that they have involved there. And then I want to have another one. So I want to keep it to C's, but so they have code, which is realistically, they have tools, right? So they have tools that they give people, right? And so I was like, okay, if someone has expert help, they have do-it-yourself training, they have support from other people doing the same thing, which this also builds out there. Here's another C for you, builds their conviction. Because in the beginning, making your first dollar online, so little of it has to do with making their first dollar, and so much of it has to do with getting out of your own head, which is why a lot of people who are trying to get into business start with personal development first, because they have to get through all their fears of rejection and why their dad didn't love them and why they're doing this to begin with and what's my passion, blah, 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 right? All you got to do is make $1 and then you're in business, just FYI. So these are all the things that people charge for, and we're like, okay, well, let's just make it free. And so that's pretty much what the Skool games was about. It was giving all of this stuff. And so we do, I think, 3 a week with all the top community owners. So this is the people actually doing it. And the nice thing with Skool, because we own the platform, we know no one's fronting. We see all the numbers. And all the numbers are public. So no one can claim that they're like, I'm making $1 million a month. They're like, dude, you're right there. I can see what you make, right? And so it just keeps everything honest and transparent in an industry that lacks a lot of that. And so my hope also, and Sam's as well, is to bring transparency to an industry that's been very shrouded in just lack of transparency, just lies, honestly, and deception. I would say misrepresentation would be the correct word for that. So we do all that stuff, and we said, we'll make it 30 days, and so I'll give you the business explanation behind this. So we did 14 days for free in a 30-day games. That way people have 2 weeks. If they're like, you know what, this isn't working for me, they can dip out. If they do think it's working for them and they finish the games, then the top 10 people fly out to Vegas and we help them grow their communities and learn from them, see how we can make the product better, things like that. Now, this is the part that might interest you. Well, hopefully that interested you too, but this might interest you. So I got the stats from the first games, and 30.44% of people who finished the first month of the games, so they went to 30 days, made their first dollar online. So just under 1 out of 3 people made their first dollar, or more, obviously, who finished their first month after the Skool games. And that to me was the most excited I've ever been finding this out, because I have so many people in our community who want to start businesses. And I was like, how can we make this as easy as humanly possible? It's like, okay, well, there's no other piece of software that has to get used. You don't have to learn anything else. It processes the money. It helps you with the delivery. It's all in one place. There's nothing else that's needed. You can run the entire business on the platform, and you can start for free. And so that's what got me really excited about it. And so I'll explain the business model to you guys if you're interested, in terms of I'll explain how Skool works, and I'll explain how the Skool hosts work. So Skool it's just a $99 a month platform. And long-term, that's not the monetization play. So I just like to explain where it is. So right now it's $99 a month. And we keep it that way because we just want it to be simple. Like, if we wanted to maximize profit, we would have lots of tiers and we could do, a ton of other things, believe me, to make more money with the system. That's just not the objective right now. The objective right now is to get as many students on the platform and as many teachers on the platform so that we just create a richer and rich community of content so that we can tackle that $10 trillion global nut of education. Because if people can go to one place to learn whatever they want from people who are actually doing it, and they'll do it affordably compared to $50,000 a year or whatever CCU charges, that is a bet that I'm willing to make. And so right now we're in growth mode. And so that's the model. It's just however many groups there are is the times 99 is how much money the platform makes. And the platform has been losing money because we've been aggressively reinvesting in getting better and better software engineers and designers and developers to make the product absolutely exceptional. So that's why obviously I wrote a big check into it, because I want it to happen. I want it to crush, and we will. Like, it's doing really well. So we're good there. But let's talk about you. So if you were to start a Skool community, because a lot of people who follow my stuff are like, well, I would like to start a business, and if you think this is okay, then I might give this a shot. So I'll just explain how the business model works. So you've got, this is my Instagram icon. Man, this is going to be tough. Let's see if I know all of them. That's TikTok, I think. And then you got Facebook, right? You got Facebook. All right, whatever, that's good enough. So you got social media. So you got traffic, you got eyeballs. All right, so just think about this like this. You got eyeballs that you have to go get. Now, you can get those in any ways you want. You can post, you can run ads, you can do outreach, you can partner with somebody who already has an audience. All of these are ways to fundamentally just get eyeballs. And so then you drive those eyeballs to your Skool page. So this is why this is kind of neat. So I'll explain this to you. So our vision for this is that, like, we just turned on ads tracking this last month, so it's kind of exciting, is that if you think about the difference between Shopify and Amazon, okay? So Shopify, let's say I sold pens. I sell these markers, okay? So that's my product. I sell these markers and I sell them on Shopify. Well, I'm gonna have to customize the whole page. I'm gonna have to learn the integrations. I'm gonna have to build all this stuff. But I have a lot more control. All right, so that's the plus, is that you get a lot more control, a lot more customization. The downside is it's a lot harder and there's no inherent brand trust. So if you just throw up a Shopify store with pens, why should I buy from you? Not a really compelling reason. Although in the other extreme, you have like Amazon. So I'm the same guy selling pens, but I put it on Amazon. Now, I can't control the color, the reviews, I can't control anything. I just know that I have to use the template that Amazon has, and I put this on there. But here's an interesting stat for you. So I have a book, I have multiple books, in the $100 million series, $100 million offers, $100 million leads, and another one coming out soon. And so my Shopify page converts at like 2 to 3%, something like that, which is like fairly standard for e-commerce. My Amazon page that has the same book converts at 30%. So 10 times as efficient in terms of converting. Now, Amazon obviously takes its fee for doing the transaction, whatever. But the key point is that because what happens is you start to build inherent trust in the platform. And so as people begin to trust Skool more and do more and more transactions on Skool, then these Skool pages will convert better than any page that you could possibly build on your own, because you get to borrow Skool's credibility. That's the key point. And so if you're trying to get into business, like, number one way to make lots of money, just have a massive, huge brand and an audience. Okay, but if you're trying to get into that, it's like telling a model, like, how do I be successful? It's like, be born beautiful. Like, how do I be born? How to be a great musician? Like, be born a great musician. Whatever. Point is that we can actually help arm people who are getting into business by letting them borrow our brand credibility. And because of this, it also becomes way lower technologically in terms of difficulty for somebody who's starting out. Interestingly, it's like if you look at Amazon, look at Zillow, you look at Airbnb, they almost all more or less converge at the same overall layout. You've got a video, right? You've got a video. You usually got a carousel of images. You've got some reviews. For the thing, you've got a buy button, and then usually a handful of bullets about the product. Almost all of the pages look like that. And so, by the way, if you're going to build something, maybe something to consider, that those guys have more traffic and conversion data than anyone on earth. They built it that way for a reason. And so the Skool page looks the same way. That way you can build it that way. So you get your eyeballs whatever way you want. You drive it towards the Skool page, which will probably convert better than anything that you make on your own. And then, you have your community. So you've got all your people inside your community. And they're all happy. And they look like they have dresses on. Cool, whatever. And so then you provide value to those people. And this becomes a recurring revenue stream. And they pay whatever, between $1 and $9,999, whatever per month. And that's it. And the reason I like this model overall too is that it creates a way for people to provide value to people with low risk. Like if you say, hey, I need $50,000 for you to do this thing with me, it's a big risk if you don't know anything, if you haven't consumed anything. But this allows people to have a front end that with low risk, someone can come in, learn about them, get value, and then if they want, they can choose to ascend to higher levels, or that just becomes the main thing and they just drive tons and tons of volume through it. People have won in either of those scenarios. But this is fundamentally like the simplest business model I could possibly imagine for someone who's trying to get started. You don't need inventory, you don't need any third-party integrations, you don't need to know anything about technology, and you can actually make your money on the platform.